exclusive interviews, stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs. Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
My behavior indicates that I'm afraid. Yet the actual perception of fear is elusive. How do I reach and deal with this deep-rooted but unconscious emotion? My behavior indicates that I'm afraid. Yet the actual perception of fear is elusive. How do I reach and deal with this deep-root-seated but unconscious emotion? Do you want to go into this now? I was going to deal with it on Saturday. But doesn't matter, we'll deal both days. If one has observed this problem of fear has existed from time immemorial, right? It has existed with man. And man has lived with it, both consciously or hidden deep down. Its roots very, very deep. And either we have escaped from it through logic, through analysis, through any form of entertainment that helps us to avoid coming directly into contact with it and holding it, or we have suppressed it. Right? We have done this. Or we neglect it. Say what? We have lived with fear for a million years, so what does it matter now? and one knows the consequences of fear. The physical shrinkage,
That's my brother, Krishnamurti, my big uncle. I'm just going to claim Krishnamurti as my uncle. He's talking about fear. This is a tough topic. Yeah? This is a very tough topic. Why is it tough? Because most of us don't realize that we're scared. We're scared. Relationships scare most of us. Right? We're afraid of being hurt. And tonight's topic is going to cover that, as Krishnamurti outlined it. We try to rationalize fear, intellectualize fear. We try to find definitions and categories and boxes to put it in. Let me just say, if you came from a home that lacked what not Krishnamurti, but what psychologists call attunement, emotional attunement, chances are you don't want to feel either. This is ugly. This is ugly. This is why behavior speaks louder than words. Just do what you're supposed to do. You said you were going to do this. We want to know why people are reduced to human doings versus being human beings. Because we're not conditioned to accept the ephemeral, irascible flaws of humanity. We're not. Right? We look at relationships as agreements. Agree to doing this for me and my wounds. Agree to this and we're good. But if you've come from a home that lacks attunement, how are you going to get in touch with your feelings? And then more importantly, or secondarily, how are you going to get in touch with your partner's feelings? Because in order to be in a relationship that is organically give and take, you're going to have to be tapped into self and them. But if you come from a home that shut that process down in early childhood, how are you to give what you were told was bad or what you come to believe is bad? Right? You're tune deaf. That's tonight's topic. Tune deaf, out of tune, and out of touch. A deeper look at emotional attunement and its impact on intimate relationships. If you don't know what that is, emotional attunement, the nuanced ability to perceive and respond to another's emotional state, forms a critical foundation for intimate relationships. Partners who engage in emotional attunement cultivate emotional closeness, trust, and resilience. Now, be careful with the term trust. I don't use it. I don't like the word trust because you can't trust anything that's in flux. And every human being you meet is, in fact, in flux, changing, growing, learning, even when they don't want to. Because the universe is going to keep sending you lessons, whether you accept the lessons, i.e. blessings, or not. So I don't use trust in this context. I supplant that word with the word acceptance. We don't know how to accept an incomplete person. Are you ready for tonight? We don't know how to accept a person who is still a work in progress, an incomplete person. They must be complete in order for our wounds to be at peace. Do you see? Are you listening? So again, partners who engage in emotional attunement, or what is known as attunement, can cultivate emotional closeness, acceptance, and resilience. We live in a time right now, people don't even want to be resilient. We got all types of intellectual concepts that shoot down resiliency in relationship. Oh, emotional labor. It's too much emotional labor. It's too much on me and not enough on you. Right? Right? Often through an unspoken awareness that fosters security. Yet, emotional attunement or its absence does not arise in a vacuum. Instead, childhood experiences early on of validation, neglect, or misunderstanding often shape these patterns, setting the stage for adult relationships, right? Examining this concept through various lenses, of course, we're going to go spirituality, psychology, metaphysics, and well beyond. It'll reveal how emotional attunement influences our most intimate bonds. In childhood, the foundations of emotional attunement or neglect take root. When caregivers respond consistently to a child's emotional cues, they instill a sense of acceptance. I'm not using the word safety because, for children, yes. Instill a sense of safety that enables the child to trust and openly express feelings. However, caregivers who fail to mirror or attend to emotional needs inadvertently teach children to ignore or suppress these needs. Psychologists such as Glenn R. Schiraldi, and then you have a biologist by the name of Bruce Lipton. Their work has explored how these patterns impact development, with Bruce Lipton's research on epigenetics showing that environments of neglect shape not only the mind, but even the genetic expression of stress responses. This early training often manifests in adult relationships as distinct attachment styles. Securely attached individuals, those who experienced emotional attunement in childhood, generally find it easier to accept and connect. In contrast, those with insecure attachment styles shaped by inconsistent attunement, parents, right, may struggle with intimacy or experience difficulty accepting. According to attachment theory, as elaborated by Erich Fromm, attachment wounds can manifest as an endless push-pull dynamic where individuals simultaneously crave and avoid closeness. We scared out here. I done told y'all that. Most people are scared. Oh, I don't know who Zoe talking about. I'm talking about you. Listen, these are not lightweight punk. I wanted to say that word. These ain't lightweight topics. Do you understand? They're not. This is why people struggle to call in. They be, Zoe done unpacked I ain't calling in. You guys want the little goofy conversations? I'll talk about eyelashes. I'll talk about weaves. Use Gorilla Glue. It'll last long. What you want me to talk about? I want to talk about what you scared of. Right? You didn't get emotional attunement. You seek it in your adult relationships. I told you, your partner is the question to the answer you've always carried inside of you. What is that answer? It's what you modeled. It's what you modeled. And if you modeled a home environment that lacked attunement, emotional attunement, how you going to show up in a relationship? Well, it's unconscious. So you don't go into the damn relationship looking for how you will be triggered. You don't go in there with a journal going, how they going to trigger me now? Let me see what comes up out of my subconscious so I can deal with it. No, you go in with expectations that are written by the wounds that you modeled, that you inherited. You go in there and say, listen, this is how I am. How many times somebody told you that? See, you don't really understand me. You see, I don't do. So many people are so good at breaking things off. You know why? Because they've never finished the job of self-inquiry, self-introspection, self-acceptance. They've never done it. So if their partner is not willing to do it, on to the next one. I'm cute enough. I've got options. Social media done gave me options. There was a time, listen, most people didn't go 8 blocks past their neighborhood. Boy, social media done said, hey, I'm in Galveston, Texas. You want to come through? Absolutely. The options are endless now. Emotional attunement also serves as a profound mirror in relationship, reflecting each partner's emotional health. Oh my God. Krishnamurti emphasized the concept of relationship as a mirror, suggesting that partners can see their own, the partners can see their own, not their partner's mess, but we can see ourselves, right? They can see their own stuff, right? I know you don't want to hear that. Can see their own unresolved wounds and projections through the lens of intimate connection. This reflective process, however, requires both partners to embrace emotional vulnerability. Well, if you didn't model that at the crib, you want somebody to put you on their proverbial spiritual back. Oh my God. It requires both of us, man, to be vulnerable. Often a daunting prospect for those with past attachment wounds. For example, Pema Chodron and Iyanla Van Zandt highlight the conflicting presence and vulnerability. It leads to a deeper understanding if one would just lean in, where each partner has the ability to support the other's emotional journey without attempting to fix them. But listen, your partner is not attempting to fix you all the time. When your partner brings up something they see, that's not them saying, do this, do that. Many of us can't even weather the inquiry. Hey, you know what I noticed? Oh, Lord, what you about to complain about now? When I come forward, the voice of reason. Oh, I got so many questions to ask. Do you want to talk about it? Call me, 1-800-920-1580. Tune deaf, out of tune and out of touch. A deeper look at emotional attunement and its impact on intimate relationships.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Badass Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
To school each day and wait for you to pass my way, and bells start to ring, and angel starts to sing, hey, that's the girl for you. So what are you gonna do? Hey, little girl, I love you so. Gonna take the long way home, just so I can be alone to think of how to save my heart.
Hey guys, I'm Heidi Priebe. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. This month on this channel, we've been talking about intimacy. So how to develop and maintain healthy, intimate connections with anyone from friends to partners to parents to siblings, anyone we just want to experience more authentic connection with. And today, what I want to talk about is the difference between how securely attached people form and maintain intimate connections versus insecurely attached people. And there is a key ingredient to this process that is very important that we often haven't learned if we are insecurely attached. And what that ingredient is attunement. So attunement is essentially the process of being engaged in this kind of energetic dance with another person. So being really present with each other in a way that allows each person to learn the other's intricacies and kind of play with their energy in a very natural way. So this is about essentially being in an interpersonal flow with someone. When we are securely attached, when we have a parent who is deeply attuned to us from a young age, we learn what it feels like to have that type of attention and empathy focused on us. So we learn naturally and instinctively to approach making connections the same way as we grow up. However, when we are insecurely attached, often the way we learn to relate to other people did not involve a lot of attunement. So this is a skill that we need to learn as we go through our lives in order to get to a place where our intimate connections are functioning as healthily as they possibly can. So what we're going to go over today is what happens in the case of two different people growing up, one of whom has an attuned caregiver and one who does not. So one who has either a misattuned caregiver or an intermittently attuned caregiver. So a parent who is able to be present and to read you quite accurately, but that presence was inconsistent. And which blind spots might develop for the person who didn't have that attunement, as well as which compensatory strategies you may have developed if you grew up insecurely attached that you now think are the key to developing intimacy, but that actually are kind of serving to keep other people at arm's length unintentionally in your life. Then we're going to talk about what it takes to learn the skill of attunement, so how we can get better at practicing this in order to start building some really fundamental intimacy skills. So to start us off, I want to talk about what attunement looks like in infancy. When you have a parent who is really attuned to their child, what you have is a parent who is generally able to reflect the child back to themselves reasonably well. So the child gets a little distressed, and the parent is able to communicate using body language, because children at that age do not have language skills yet, that they understand their distress, that they see it, and also that they're able to contain it in some way. So they're able to soothe the child in a way that makes the child feel as though there is someone competent who understands them and is available to help them. And so this is the process of a parent being very present with a child. I don't know if you've ever gone and been around a parent who has like a 6-month-old baby. And the baby can have these very specific noises or coos or little movements they do, and the parent is able to interpret them incredibly accurately. So they might know what their child sounds like when their distress is due to having a wet diaper versus being hungry versus being tired. And they're able to tune into these little nuances that give them information about that child's inner world. So this is often what we get in a secure caregiving dynamic. We get a parent who is sensitized to their child's specific needs. And the child learns in that process that if I show my emotions in a congruent way, so if I simply display what is happening for me, those emotions are going to get reflected back to me, and someone is going to be present with me, and that presence is going to lead to a deep form of connection. And then as that child grows up, without ever putting it into conscious words, what they're going to do is...
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know from BIN News. It's unclear how President-elect Trump's win will affect his New York City hush money case sentencing. Judge Juan Merchant has days to decide if Trump will face consequences for payments to Stormy Daniels. Trump argues presidential immunity should void the verdict since evidence from his time in office was not included. The Federal Reserve is lowering interest rates by 0.25 percentage point. This follows a 50 basis points reduction earlier this fall, the first lowering of rates in 4 years. Authorities are investigating racist text messages sent to Black Americans nationwide. The messages signed a Trump supporter contain offensive language about picking cotton. Ohio State University reports that many of its Black students have received the message, and the Columbus NAACP is calling it a hate crime. And Gayle King is responding to Megan Thee Stallion's admission about lying regarding her intimate relationship with Tory Lanez, saying there's no controversy and she's cheering her on. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
September 15th to 21st is Asthma Peak Week with the highest concentration of asthma flare-ups and hospitalizations. To become a more active participant in your care, visit luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader. Follow 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 the leader.
Whether you're going over the river and through the woods in the capable Silverado 1500 Getting the choir to church on time in the 3-row Traverse.
Thank you!
Or driving cross town to deliver your famous Cajun-spiced holiday turkey in the Equinox EV. America's most affordable EV with a 315-plus mile range. Add confidence to every holiday adventure and get it done with a rugged and capable Chevy truck or SUV. Find your red tag. Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select popular Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Silverado, Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $2,860 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 22.2%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 12/2/24.
Thank you!
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SNAP to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Alright, how can I communicate my feelings to my partner without them feeling attacked or shutting down or turning it around on me? I get this question every day, so here is my answer. You both have a job to do. You both have roles to play. The first thing that you need to understand is that it's not your responsibility to do their job for them. That's an unhealthy mindset, that you can do their work for them. You can carry it all on your shoulders. Never forget, healthy conflict requires two people participating. Stop defaulting to blaming yourself for all of the dysfunction in this relationship. Now, of course, there are things that we can do to keep conflicts respectful, and we should be doing them regardless of whether they reciprocate. We can make sure we don't start this discussion with criticism. That's attacking their character. We don't start with an accusatory tone. We don't belittle them. We don't blame them for our feelings. You make me so mad because you're a selfish, narcissistic jerk. No, we don't have to do that. That's not healthy. We start with respectful, honest vulnerability. We make sure we have regulated ourselves and we aren't coming into this thing triggered. That doesn't mean we're not still angry. It just means that we aren't in a flooded state where there's smoke coming out of our ears. Then we take accountability for our feelings and we state the facts. When you made fun of me at the party, I felt rejected and disrespected. In the end, that's all we can do. And we should be doing that. We should feel safe to open up and share our heart with them. And they should want us to be honest about our feelings. They should want to know what's going on with us. They should want to keep short accounts with us. That means not letting resentment or distance build up and repairing any unintentional hurts. But if your question is how can I prevent them from shutting down or feeling attacked or attacking us when we tell them about our hurts, we can't. That's their job, not ours. You can't control or force people to react a certain way with your words. It's their job to have enough maturity to realize that you aren't calling.
I don't know if these clips are helping. Because if you're listening, every clip I play is outlining the tips, the skills, and the tools that are required. But let's just do basic math. You have 4 attachment styles. 1 is secure. The other 3 are dubbed insecure attachment styles. Now, there's varying numbers and varying sources, right, that say, 50% of people have a secure attachment style. Then there are other numbers, and I've looked them up. There are other numbers that are like, nah. The insecure attachment style, there are more people that have an insecure attachment style. Now, you've heard me outline this too. I've always said relationships are inherently spiritual, right? Why? Because they deal with the revelation of self-knowledge. I get to learn who I am in relationship. It is the mirror of relationship, a la Krishnamurti. It is the mirror. This is how I see myself, right? But many people are not focused on looking at themselves. They are focused on what their partner is bringing to the table, right? And when they say, well, what I'm bringing to the table, it's always tangible stuff. Money, career opportunities, advancement, resources. It's always tangible. It's never, this is what I'm bringing. I'm bringing a lack of emotional attunement. Nobody ever says that, right? So when the gentleman is explaining, basically putting the words in your mouth, how to communicate with folk, it makes me think that this is a country that isn't very spiritual. Might be highly religious, but not very spiritual. Spirituality is akin to consciousness. Consciousness is awareness. Now put that in the context of intimate relations. Self-awareness. Do you see? So, with the high level of lack of self-awareness, I'm going to say that in intimate relationships, this might be controversial, but I don't care. Most people are spiritually divergent. Doesn't mean you can't come into a spiritual typical space. Doesn't mean you can't gain these tools, learn these tools, but in relationship, most people are spiritually divergent. They just don't see it that way because of what they modeled. They are looking at relationship and the world through a lens of hurt, pain, and dysfunction. A lack of emotional attunement in relationships can lead to what psychologist Dr. Ramani refers to as emotional labor. Can I get deep? Emotional labor is a cop-out for the person that doesn't have the damn tools. Emotional labor is just a fancy euphemism for this is too much. Isn't that the new say? That's a lot. It's a lot. You hear people say that all? It's a lot. Oh my God, it's a lot. When I tell you spirit is infinite, when I tell you love is infinite, what I find is I get pushback because people have never been to that horizon. So based on where they are, man, that ain't real. Man, you can't love nobody because they're going to take, advantage. You're speaking through the broken lens of what you modeled in childhood. So yes, you see doing the work as emotional labor. I know people don't want to hear it put that way, but this is what Dr. Ramani calls it. She calls it emotional labor. The unequal distribution of emotional support, where one partner frequently manages both their own and their partner's emotional needs. Now go deeper. If the highest form of love is unconditional, which is infinite, if the highest level of healing is consciousness, self-realization, self-actualization, and we can all get there, I'm not saying that you should carry everybody's load. But what I'm saying is, when you begin the healing process, you'll find that your ability to carry more increases. You can't carry more if you're complaining about what you have to carry. And you're in a situation not by accident, but by divine right. Now, guess what? You have free will to be able to step away. No, I don't want to do that. I'm cool. I'm straight. I don't want to do that. But how do you get outside your spiritual comfort zone? How do you get outside of the parameters of what you believe until you push them to the limit? We can see this thought process in Prince or in Michael Jackson when they're striving for perfection to make this music. We could see it in Kobe Bryant when he says, you know what? I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. so I can have 3 practices throughout the day. And in the next 5 years, if I do that and everybody else is practicing once a day, there's no way they can catch up to me. What if you put that kind of effort into your relationship? Intrapersonally as well as interpersonally. Imagine how good at relationships you might become. Oh, that's a bit much. That's a lot. Isn't that the quote? That's a lot. I shouldn't have to do that. Well, maybe if I were married, then I would have something to fight for. Do you see how these ideas and concepts and weird, you got to do it anyway if you want to relate at the highest level. When I come forward, I'm going to the phone lines. Let's get it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, just call 687-246-9655 to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
Workers in California cut and polish man-made stone for countertops, showers, and more. Without proper protections, workers breathe in harmful dust from the artificial stone material, which puts them at risk of developing silicosis. California employers are required to protect their employees from harmful silica dust by providing proper equipment and training. Stop dusty and deadly practices. Learn more at worksafewithsilica.org. This is a message from Cal OSHA.
Medicare open enrollment is here, and it's a time you can make changes to your health coverage. Yet, watch out for enrollment and marketing scams. Remember, Medicare will neither call you nor solicit your business. Guard your card. Never give out your Medicare number to strangers. Unsolicited calls, door-to-door visits, and emails are prohibited. Take your time. Don't feel pressured to make a quick decision. Report scams to our California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I knew you when I had a friend. Very deeply, love lived within. But somehow we got loose from what was oh so tight. Somewhere we went wrong when we were oh so right. What's a man to do when he just can't take no more? What's a man to do? What am I to
Why isn't your partner listening to you? Or your boss, or your mother-in-law, or your kid, or your best friend? You got these great suggestions. You're just trying to help. Why won't they listen? I'm going to teach you right now. And the big secret is that you've been giving suggestions at the wrong time. So I'm going to teach you why that's true and what to do about it right now. So basically, I've said this a million times before, we are very much hardwired like we were literally the last 200,000 years, millions of years, really, if you think about it. But this is humans. And since the Earth has been around a long time, we have not been around a long time in comparison, maybe 200,000 years versus about 4 billion. So you can see we haven't evolved to a place that's more modern and having these kind of conversations we're having. So we're really reacting like we would have hundreds of thousands of years ago, millions of years ago, really, but let's say even 200,000. So here's how I want you thinking, that when anything is stressing us, anything at all, it doesn't matter if it's big, if it's small.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you know what kind of nuclear bomb she just dropped. Hardwired. Millions of years ago. You get triggered, you respond like a primitive. I'm trying to give you a new mind, a new brain. And listen, we have the ability to transcend that automatic, reactive kind of, I'm triggered. This is how I'm going to respond. I'm saying, yo, all these concepts, emotional labor. That's the old mind. I'm trying to get you past the dictates of the old conditioned mind. Man, bring her back to the top. Can we bring her back to the top?
Anything at all.
Because listen to what she said.
Why isn't your partner listening to you? Or your boss, or your mother-in-law, or your kid, or your best friend? You got these great suggestions. You're just trying to help. Why won't they listen? I'm going to teach you right now. And the big secret is that you've been giving suggestions at the wrong time. So I'm going to teach you why that's true and what to do about it right now. So basically, I've said this a million times before, we are very much hardwired like we were literally the last 200,000 years, millions of years, really, if you think about it. But this is humans. And since the Earth has been around a long time, we have not been around a long time in comparison, maybe 200,000 years versus about 4 billion. So you can see we haven't evolved to a place that's more modern and having these kind of conversations we're having. So we're really reacting like we would have hundreds of thousands of years ago, millions of years ago, really, but let's say even 200,000. So here's how I want you thinking, that when anything is stressing us, anything at all, it doesn't matter if it's big, if it's small, it could be a death in the family to leaving the cap off the toothpaste if your partner keeps doing that. Anything that's a stressor, our brains treat as an emergency. And so they immediately go to that place. And you have to remember that an emergency for our brain used to mean life or death. Literally. Anytime we were stressed, anytime we were worried, it meant, the crops weren't coming in and we were going to die. It meant there was a storm coming and we might die. It meant that there was a predator about to eat me and I might die. So everything that happens physiologically is related to that. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. So, sorry, itchy nose. So I want you to realize that if your boss says to you, hey, I want to see you in my office at 2 and it's 9 in the morning, you know that feeling you get like your stomach's dropping out? You know what I'm talking about. That is actually the blood rushing to your legs to run. Yeah. Very old response. That feeling you don't want to eat anything, because of course, if you're running from a tiger, you shouldn't have, be eating something. So all that goes away. Your pupils dilate so you can run in the dark. You might not even know that happens because you might not realize it. Your breathing becomes shallow and faster.
You're responding like you're in danger. You're having an argument with your spouse. I'm going to say it again. We respond to psychological issues as if we are in danger. So watch this. If you take Dr. David R. Hawking's consciousness grid, the lower levels of the consciousness grid, you will find the villain, victim, accuser, abuser consciousness level. What is that? Shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. Right? That's the lower level of consciousness. Guess what else exists there? What Dr. Ramani is talking about. Emotional labor often contributes to resentment, burnout, especially when one partner feels responsible for sustaining the relationship's emotional health. Patrick Carnes' research on trauma bonding shows how emotional neglect or imbalanced attunement creates dependency cycles where both partners cling to a dynamic that prevents true intimacy. Listen, these are low levels of consciousness. And even at those low levels of consciousness, if we feel like, oh, the relationship is going to break up, it's really painful. We don't even want to let go of the dysfunction. This is all a product of the lack of relational attunement. We get it in childhood. We live with it. We cope with it. We create intellectualized frameworks for it to say, oh, this is the way it is, and this is how you have to eggshell around me. No, at some point, you have to find the inner courage, which is at 200 on this consciousness grid, courage, to look at all of those coping mechanisms around those unhealed wounds and say to yourself, no more. No more. I am no longer going to be this kind of person that requires someone to supplement this wound. I'm going to love this wound. I'm going to empathize with this wound to the point where it has no more power over me. Is that self-attunement? So that one could be emotionally attuned to their partner? There can be no emotional attunement until there is self-attunement. This is me telling you guys a couple of weeks ago when I said what? Self-neutrality leads to relational mutuality. When I come forward, I promise I'm bringing these people on the line. Let's go.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know from BIN News. It's unclear how President-elect Trump's win will affect his New York City hush money case sentence.